Imagine this: a U.S. president threatening to take military action against a NATO ally in 2026. It sounds unthinkable, but it's happening. And this isn't just a one-off incident. It's part of a larger strategy that's shaking the very foundation of global alliances. Now, here's the catch. This isn't only about military action. It's about the future of NATO and your security. What's the real goal behind these threats? Stay tuned. This story is about to get much more complicated. So here's what's really happening. Republican and Democratic lawmakers are now joining forces to stop Trump from escalating tensions with NATO. In 2026, of all years, we're watching NATO allies being threatened, something that seemed unimaginable just a few years ago. But this isn't just about one conflict. It's a sign of something bigger. It's the erosion of one of the world's most powerful alliances. So why does this matter to you? What happens when our most trusted allies start questioning whether we'll back them up? That's the real question. Now, here's the first piece of evidence. Republican Congressman Don Bacon, along with Democrats, introduced a bill in the House aimed at blocking any federal funding for military action in Greenland. This isn't just political theater. This is a real attempt to stop a potential military invasion, and it's getting bipartisan support. In a moment when NATO's future is on the line, lawmakers are drawing a clear line in the sand. But notice what's missing. Why isn't this front and center in the media? Why aren't more people talking about it? Now, let's talk about how fast things are escalating. This isn't just a legislative move. It's a direct response to something far more dangerous. Imagine the ripple effect. Trump's threats to Greenland could set off a chain reaction that disrupts NATO's unity. Historically, we've never seen something like this from a sitting U.S. president. The world has watched in disbelief as this alliance, one of the most crucial in history, begins to fracture. But here's the unsettling truth. This could be just the beginning. What happens when this kind of rhetoric becomes the norm? And here's the kicker. It's not just about words anymore. The evidence is piling up. Trump's rhetoric has shifted from threats to actual policy proposals. He's pushing for a greater military presence in Greenland, and the stakes are higher than you might think. The contradictions are clear. While he claims to protect NATO, his actions suggest otherwise. The line between political maneuvering and real military action is getting dangerously thin. If this continues, it won't just be an isolated incident. This could trigger a geopolitical disaster that could alter the global balance of power. And that's not something anyone can ignore. Now let's stack the pressure. First, we have the legislation to block military funding for Greenland. Then there's the investigation into military officers potentially being ordered to invade. And if that wasn't enough, the Pentagon's facing scrutiny over its role in all of this. We're talking about a perfect storm of political, military, and legal chaos. In real time, key players are scrambling to hold the line, but it's unclear whether they can. And with Trump pushing forward, what happens if this continues? How long until NATO, the world's most powerful alliance, starts to unravel? Now let's zoom out and look at how this affects you. These aren't just political games being played in Washington. This is about real people, real lives. If NATO fractures, it's not just military leaders who feel the impact. It's families, economies, everyday people who rely on the stability these alliances provide. Imagine the fear of waking up to find your country's security threatened, not by enemies, but by the very leadership that's supposed to protect you. If this feels familiar, if it's starting to hit too close to home, let me know in the comments. But here's where it gets even more unsettling. This isn't just about Trump. This is about a system that enables these actions to happen. Look closely and you'll see the leverage at play. Economic pressure, strategic positioning, and the spectacle of power all work together to destabilize something as important as NATO. It's not chaos by accident. It's a deliberate unraveling of a system that has kept the world safe since World War II. The real question is, what's behind this push? And why isn't anyone in power doing more to stop it? It's not just a political fight. It's a fight for the very structure of global power. Now, let's look ahead. There are two paths from here. On one side, you have the potential for more legislation to slow Trump down, maybe even stop these military moves in their tracks. But on the other side, we could see this spiral out of control with more tension, more allies questioning their trust in the U.S., and more cracks in NATO's foundation. The pressure is mounting, and it's unclear which way things will go. But one thing is certain, this moment is shaping the future, and the next move is already taking shape. The question is, will anyone be able to stop it? And here's the deep takeaway. This moment could change everything. The very alliances that have protected us for decades are at risk. And it's not just about one country or one president. It's about a system that could crumble under the pressure. The future of NATO and the stability of the world is hanging in the balance. What happens next will set the tone for years to come. And as we watch this unfold, one thing's clear: the next chapter of this story is already writing itself. Stay tuned for more because we're just getting started.